flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a roll call? Supervisors, please. All supervisors are present. Moving on, citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak, you have 5 minutes. State your name and address. Citizens' comments. Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Moving on, announcements of the chairman. I'd like to welcome Casey Cochran from the PETA Committee. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to apprise the board of the discussion I had with the sheriff and the chief of police in regards to the opioid issues that we had a presentation on. They are talking to kids at all levels in the DARE program, so this is part of their education process. The city does not have a program, but the chief of police told me that they have counselors in the schools that are educating these young kids on opioids and the dangers of them in prescription medication, so on and so forth. So I told the board I would report that. Any other questions any of the supervisors have, they can see me after the meeting. We will have a August 20th executive committee meeting at 5:30 p.m. to go over the candidates for the District 4 position, Supervisor Gable's position. We've had 3 applicants. So that will start at 5:30, and then we will have another executive meeting on the 20th at 7 p.m. in regards to the budget and the budgetary process and some issues that were brought up at our last couple meetings, and then our county board meeting will be at 7:30. So that's all I have.
Is that the same night, Mr. Chairman?
It's August 20th, yes.
They're both on the same night.
Yes, sir. Yep, 5:30, 7, county board meeting at 7:30. You're welcome. Any other questions? Moving on, supervisor reports. Supervisor Altman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Facilities and highways, parks, and golf have been very busy here this past month. The month of July was kind of a reprieve, even though we had a couple heavy downpours. Golf operations, the next big thing is the County Open, which is played August 9th and 11th. Part of it at Strawberry Creek, part of Brightondale. Then the Executive Cup, the County Executive Cup, will be held September 11th, and that's lunch, dinner, 18 holes, and it raises funds for the junior golf program, which consists of 160 children. Junior golf clinics wrapped up at the golf courses with 125 participants. We sent back some bids on cart path replacement at Petrifying Springs because they were too high. We are redoing these bids and separating out some items. And we are upgrading the sediment pond. We do have our own sewer treatment plant at Brightondale. In facilities, project update, I know I've been talking about this courthouse chiller for a year, and it has been since 12/12 when pre-construction meeting was held. Air conditioning is available there, but there still is some punch list items going on. The Kenosha County Center, where we're sitting, is going to be going through a chiller replacement also. And that bid was accepted for $253,000. $260,000 was estimated for this project, and that will, completion is next April. If you look at the bids that we are receiving right now, it's something I reported on more than a year ago. We thought was going to happen. People are busier, there's less contractors, and we are starting to see things close to our estimates or over. We just recently have sent a couple back to the drawing board. That one came in under. We've had some that have come in over. In facilities projects, Anderson Arts Center, November completion should be right on schedule. And we will have have, sent another building that the county owns into the next generations, as we did with the courthouse. It's some beautiful work being done there. The branch room courtroom, the ribbon cutting was on the 15th of July, and ceremonial courtroom, we are still looking at costs for that and looking for possible partners if we would undertake that project. The parks. Kemper Center restroom modernization, that's one that we did reject bids. It'll be rebid in the fall. Pike River restoration, that is complete. Picnic in the park, there's a big hit out at Pets. That is going to be held on 8/24. In highways, most of the projects that we have are on schedule, and we have been able to pave almost 5 miles of our paving in July because the rains did stop. And lastly, we've got a new concept, new thing that we're going to be doing. It's called a Twilight Tour. It's going to be at the Katy Park and the Starry Nights Farm. Starry Nights Farm is a sustainable farm that does grass grazing. It is right north of the Katy Park, a restaurant that many people enjoy here in Kenosha County. The Red Oak Restaurant is going to be catering. The cost is going to be $15 per person. There's going to be a walking tour of the park and the farm, and that is going to fill up kind of quickly, but it's Thursday, September 5th, and it should be a very nice evening. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Supervisor Uhas, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, tonight I'd like to give you an update on behalf of the Pringle Nature Center Board. Their year-end finished. Their year-end goes from June 2018 to June 2019, and we just had a meeting last month, so I'd like to give you an overview of what was discussed for last year. 231 volunteers contributed 1,298 hours of volunteer service to the Pringle Nature Center. 3,232 visitors came through the center during this period without participating in programs, and 3,561 participated in programs for a total of 6,793 people coming out to enjoy the Pringle Nature Center over the past year. The homeschool science program this year incorporated a new middle school, grades 6 through 8 class that met every other month during the school year, in addition to the monthly K through 2 and 3 through 5 groups, making a total of 21 programs. All classes continued to be very well attended. There were 3 scout programs scheduled, and by a few requests, badge programs, for a total of 26 programs regarding scouting for boys and girls. Summer camp sessions for all ages continued to fill up consistently. Some of the popular sessions were observation and creation, Little Naturalist, and Tots in the Park. In addition to the educational programming, 61 public programs were also held and very well attended. The Halloween hike had 300 participants. The maple syrup hike in March had 170 participants over 2 Saturdays. Leave No Child Inside during spring break in April had 113 participants, and the recent Mud Day had just over 200 participants. Pringle Nature Center held 3 large fundraisers, which were very well attended over the last year. Their annual Fun Fall Fest was held in September and exceeded prior year totals with 250 participants. In November, the Bristol Woods Train Run hosted 73 participants, and the Mother's Day Brunch had 32 participants, even with the unsightly weather. In addition of Boundless Adventures to Bristol Woods, the Pringle Nature Center is collaborating with Boundless Adventure staff to help facilitate possible cross-programming opportunities. The Nature Center continues to be rented out for weddings, birthday parties, and group meetings. Last year, the center was utilized 8 times for these type of events. Some upcoming events for the Nature Center are on Saturday, August 24th from 9 to 12. There's an invasive species work day. Anyone can come out, gloves and Equipment is provided. The Leave No Child Inside Summer Last Fling, that is also going to be held on Saturday, August 24th from 10 to 3. They're going to have a fitness hike on September 3rd from 10 to 11. For adults, it's a free event and no registration is required. And then the big Fun Fall Fest is going to be held on Saturday, September 21st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get ready for hay rides, pumpkin decorating, children's theater, bird walks, and more. This year's festival promises to be better than ever. And watch the website for any updates to this event as well as the others. The Pringle Nature Center Board is comprised of very dedicated, talented, and a passionate group of members who believe in the mission of the center. Pringle Nature Center is a regional resource where people of all ages can experience nature, environmental education, conservation, and stewardship, and by doing so, will be inspired to become responsible stewards of the environment. We do this by putting people in touch with nature. So as you can see, people are using Bristol Woods, and the attendance is becoming higher, and I'll continue to update you as we have our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Haas. Supervisor Nordigan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a note that the Kenosha County Fair begins a week from tomorrow, August 14th. Hope to see everyone out there. Have a good time, spend some money, support the county fair. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As some of you might know, Joint Services does have text to 911 online now, and I just want to let we have gotten a few pranks and false alarms, but we also did get one where there was actually a domestic violence and it worked. So I just want to update you that is a good service that we're now providing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Seeing no more discussion, I'm going to clear the board. County Clerk.
Old business, ordinance 2, second reading 2 required. From Supervisor Rodriguez, an ordinance regarding amendment of MCKC Chapter 3.647, Public Records and Properties. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Wamble, yes. Gens, yes. Kavicki, yes.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
Thank you. I would move on behalf of the committee the ordinance before you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Rose, second by Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
Since Supervisor Rodriguez was the author and a proponent of this, I would defer to him to present this on behalf of the committee.
Thank you. Supervisor Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Supervisor Rose. Last summer, in August, the Wisconsin Department of Justice Office of Open Government issued some guidance to municipalities stating that we should reevaluate our fees. They wrote, the Office of Open Government recommends that authorities reevaluate their copying fees, especially if new copiers have been leased, purchased, or purchased since the creation of a fee schedule. Copying fees should be based on the actual cost of the copy machine or contract and the actual cost of paper as a best practice, but especially when a requester requested, authorities should itemize all expenses, including but not limited to copying, postage, and location costs. With that, I took this guidance when I found news of it, and I worked with Corporation Counsel and IT and the Finance Committee to draft the ordinance that's in front of us here tonight. What this ordinance does is creates a review of our fees that we charge here at the county level through the Corporation Counsel's office, IT, any other necessary department on a semi-yearly basis. I believe it's 3 years. And what it's done so far already is we've lowered fees from 25 cents for a traditional sheet of paper down to 10 cents. That's a 60% reduction cost, or cost reduction in costs, and I think that's great. I think we could definitely go further, but I'm going to take what we can get. It's also important to note, on June 5th of this year, the Second District Court of Appeals for the state of Wisconsin ruled in Bill Luters versus Scott Krug that when a requester requests a public record that is currently in a digital format, if they request that in a digital format to be sent to them, that we can't tell them, no, we've got to print it out and you've got to pay for it. And Judge, you have to excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, Gundrum, along with Judge Riley and now Justice Hagedorn, all came to consensus and Grundrum wrote in his opinion that Krug did not refuse to provide these emails to looters in an electronic form on the ground that they were protected from disclosure on some legal basis. No such reason was suggested. Rather, Krug effectively indicated that paper printouts were, quote, good enough to satisfy looters' second enhanced open records request. They are not. He goes on further to say that what I just kind of said, in that we can't force a requester to pay for a paper printout if our copy's already in a digital format. What we've done here has taken a while since I kind of got this ball rolling. This referendum, or this guidance from the state, came down to us on August 8th of last year, and though I wish this happened sooner, I'm proud to say that we as Kenosha County have reevaluated our fees, and we've changed our fees, and we're being, a steward for other municipalities throughout the state, and we've done that 2 days shy of a whole year, and I think we should be proud of that. So again, I want to thank Corporation Counsel, I want to thank IT, and I want to thank the Finance Committee. This wasn't the easiest thing to get to this point tonight, but I would encourage all of my colleagues to support it tonight, and that's all I've got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rodriguez. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the ordinance say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance passes.
Communications, 15 from Finance and Administration Committee resolution to approve transfer of 7 tax dated parcels to the city of Kenosha.
For the Finance Administration Committee.
Communication 16 from the Finance and Administration Committee regarding a resolution 2019 Information Technology Resolution to recognize additional revenue and modify expenditure budgets for services incurred for the DKI-WI Wi-Fi network from the city of Kenosha.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee.
17, communications from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing and providing for the sale and issuance of $16,620,000 general obligation promissory notes and all related details.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee.
18, communications from the Finance and Administration Committee, resolution authorizing and providing for the sale and issuance of $8,880,000 general obligation bonds and all related details.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee.
19, communication from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee regarding resolution Wisconsin Department of Justice JAG Crisis Intervention Team CIT training grant.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Committee.
Claims estate of Jeanette Luke, wrongful death.
Refer to Corporation Counsel.
6, Kevin Mortensen, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Counsel.
7, Eric R. Olson, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Counsel.
8, David Denny, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Counsel.
Approval of the July 16, 2019 minutes by Supervisor Decker.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
I make a motion to approve the July 16, 2019 minutes.
Thank you. I have a motion by Supervisor Decker, a second by Supervisor Nudo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So approved. I have a motion to adjourn. Yes, 1 second, please.
I had my layout with respect to claim number 5.
Oh, I apologize.
That's all right. I think that the Human Services Committee ought to report to this board some of what is behind what the materials indicate were both state and federal violations with regard to Brookside. This is the very first time I have read that or known about that or heard about that. I think in our oversight capacity, we need to know more about that. A number of years ago, Brookside was cited for some very serious violations. Cost the board a lot of money to bring them up to code. We've certainly spent a great deal of money on Brookside, remodeling it, rejuvenating it, and constructing it. I think this board ought to know more about what these federal violations are, state violations are, what were the remedies, were we fined? I think we need to know that detail in our oversight capacity here. And so, Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that you refer that to the committee as well as the Brookside Board of Trustees, and that this board be informed in detail what this is all about.
Yes, sir, I will do so. I will talk to the chairman of that committee, and I will discuss it with the Brookside Board also. Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Now can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Supervisor Rodriguez, a second by Supervisor Kubicki. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.